Your Excellency, it's a big moment joining NATO. And of course, it's because of what has happened in Ukraine.
It is, of course, a big moment, but on the other hand, it's not that dramatic like it looks like. Finland has been, of course, very long time already cooperating very closely with NATO. We have been partner in NATO, we have been training jointly. Our defense is interoperable with NATO. But indeed, we were non-aligned country and now we have made a decision to apply the NATO membership. And that is, of course, very historical. This was also very historical because it was with a great majority, huge majority of the Finnish parliament, and we have a huge popular support to this. And this process was very, very rapid, but very, very democratic process also. We have, of course, a very long border with Russia. Russia is our immediate neighbor in east, 1,340 kilometers border. And we have had our ups and downs with Russia. And indeed also in 1939, 1940, a bit of winter war, and then continuation war, 41-44. And we lost 1/10 of our area and 400,000 people, 10% of the population were displaced. At the same time, of course, when you have a neighbor, you always have also try to have very friendly relations, and there are practical cross-border issues which you really daily have to deal with, and that we have been trying to do also. And most of the time you have trade, you have all kind of people-to-people cooperation, etc. So Russian tourists have been very popular in Finland. Some Russians have owned their property there, and the trade has been also both ways actually mutual beneficial. But indeed, the 24th of February changed the situation and changed dramatically the European security situation due to the Russians' aggressive war in Ukraine. And we had to assess our security situation newly, and so we did. And after this thorough review of the security, new security decision, we decided to put our application to the NATO. And there to maximize our own security, but also security on transatlantic area. Of course, now we have been putting application in, and it is up to NATO now to look the process further. And we are very, very open to discussion with Turkey and to some other countries if they might have some concerns about our input or our policies. Indeed, Turkey has given some concerns on especially referring to terrorism. Finland and Turkey have had traditionally very broad and very good relations, and we have had discussions also in various levels with Turkey on the possible NATO membership as well. Our presidents were discussing on Saturday, and President was also confirming that we are very open to the discussions and to explain and give answers to the concerns what they have. Of course, when it comes to terrorism, Finland condemns strictly the terrorism, and we are working very strongly also against any form of terrorism. So there is our policies are clear in this respect. But like you said, the membership of the NATO is a consensus decision by all NATO countries. We of course hope very, very much that this process will be smooth and will be rapid. Well, it is really up to the NATO and the accession negotiations then when one talks about the term. But one has to remember that Finland and Sweden will bring security to the NATO also. We are strengthening with our accession as well NATO, not only our own security. Finland, for instance, has a very, very strong national defense system, which we have also modernized all the time, so we have been having strong emphasis on capacity building. We have trained, like I said before, we have trained, exercised together with NATO. NATO knows us, and we know very well NATO. I think we are starting on the point that we are giving asset to the NATO with our very strong capabilities, and Finland has one of the strongest motivation, also willingness to defend our areas. And when we are joining the NATO, of course, the NATO, then we are bringing these capabilities in the use of NATO.